All right, well, thank you so much for watching us, for still staying glued to the People's Daily OGTV 258. We told you that this morning we will be looking at first the OSUN APC governorship primary election that was conducted over the weekend, and we're expecting to join us live via Zoom from OSUN State, the Commissioner for Information in that state, Mrs. Funke Egbemode. But in the meantime, before she joins us, we have a guest in the studio, and together we want to do a quick review of the event of weekend. We have in the studio with us the National Secretary of Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, Comrade Yinka Folari, joining us this morning. Comrade Folari, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning our viewers all over the places.
Thank you so much. I know your people must have also monitored that election. You don't just monitor the general election, you also monitor primary election too, especially huge ones that have the potentials of being controversial. We saw the build up to this one. Former governor of OSUN State, current Minister of Interior, actually, created some sensational stories for the media before the election. He went, he spoke, and he said a whole lot of things, and that made that election potentially big. And it looked like when you saw the celebration of the governor of OSUN State, after the primary, it looked like he had actually won re-election. What do you make of all of this?
Well, thank you very much. As a pro-democracy organization, we will always be interested in the process that will lead to the general election or the gubernatorial or even the state election. We'll be interested, and that is why we got some of our members also deployed to observe that primary election. Well, talking about the old drama, I would say it is still an internal affair of the party and the internal game of the strategist. And when you look at the players, of the truth, we saw the jubilation of from the governor's camp, and we also saw the reaction of the Abeokuta DOT's group. Well, one thing we're definitely going to learn a lot of lessons from what is going on, and why it is so much, the election is so much important for us, even as civil society, is that it's also going to be a test for a test towards the 2023 election. When you talk of OSUN and Ekiti election, it's going to be a test, especially for the Independent National Electoral Commission, and we, all critical stakeholders, must definitely be interested. And talking about the drama that happened before the day, it will actually refresh our memory to look at the profile, the profile of the players, and Oyetola, Adeoti, Aregbesola, Lasso, they are members of the same family. Aregbesola with his Oga that had issue, I would say that it was actually beyond. It is actually beyond what people see. Or what some analysts come up to analyze about the person and the relationship that went so between Aregbesola and his boss. And when you look at it, when I read the outburst and watched the video of the outburst of Aregbesola, I was actually flashing back to those days, talking about 1998, 1999 to 2007, how the familiarization, the relationship between him and his boss, and how they have come into terms to work together up to this movement. If you are talking of consistent loyalty, I am not sure any politician has given that better than Aregbesola to his boss.
And he has gotten so many things.
And he has gotten. This was a man who was when you talk of election in Lagos State. The major pleaser, the major determinant of Lagos election used to be Ali Mosho. And the man who was holding for Talimosho for the party did was Aregbesola. And how did Asiwaju even come across Aregbesola? Aregbesola was a PA to the former chairman of that local government in Alimosho, Sir Ayo Akinyemi. And he discovered that this one will be loyal, and he has demonstrated that loyalty over the time. But the same problem most of our political system used to have, the problem of succession. Who succeeds who? The incumbents want to, by all means, have interest in this is who I want, this is the one I felt would be. I think the same problem we are still tackling with.
You refer to these as an infighting, sort of. And
yes.
Of course, one would ask that, is this kind of infighting actually healthy for our democracy at this stage?
Obviously, it is very, very unhealthy. It doesn't preach good, especially when I also saw the counter protest of yesterday
on the street of Lagos.
On the street of Lagos and even Oshogbo, and you know, I actually saw it beyond some persons. Some will feel that, oh, it was good for Aregbesola, they have actually dealt in politically. But look at that, this is a very bad precedent, because Nigeria is a very funny country. This may start to be a kind of the order of the day. If someone is displeased, he expresses himself, and the next thing you see, they'll start carrying the coffin up and down that we have dealt with politically. It is not healthy for our system. I will say, of course, they will have reason to disagree. But if you disagree, you must be mindful of your utterances as well. I disagree with the position of Aregbesola, especially some of his statements when he reacted to the non-cooperation between him and the governor of OSUN State, and the perceived injustice from his boss, that his boss did not intervene, did not allow Oyetola to destroy his legacy and this and that. It wasn't good, but the counter reaction as well is very, very unhealthy, especially for the future.
Okay, people say a lot of things at this stage, and one of those is that you know, for any political party to actually get to the peak of their best or something, they have to have this kind of issues so that you can definitely get the best. In this kind of situation, Oyetola has actually, you know, he has clinched that ticket in the APC right now, and of course one would expect that the general election, you know, it's something bigger. Is it something that prepares the ground for the general election? This kind of controversy that we've experienced, we witnessed during this last primaries in APC.
Well, now, with all sense of, let me say, sharing the political atmosphere, we all belong to this atmosphere. Sharing with, I will tell you that it is not reasonable to believe that parties that has gotten to the peak must go with this. We had opposition party in this country before, and I must tell you, it didn't get to this level. People disagreed, they went on their way. You will recall the case of the, I think, the G5 or so, the Kawubaraje, the Kwakanso, the Bukola Saraki, and the like. They disagreed with the then president, they went on their way. It didn't get to the extent of carrying coffin or even making an LD outburst. You must be objective in your criticism.
So is this
Another was wrong. The counter reaction from the
is this definitely going to be you know, have an impact? And
obviously, this is just an in-house election. It's just the primary election of the party. You will not forget that the same OSUN State, we were there last in 2018 when we went to observe the election. And what was the margin? The margin between the party, and I don't want to say some things they have gone to court. Court have settled one or two things. But I must tell you, the present infight is unhealthy even for the party. It was just a success within the party. The general election is still there. They have a strong opposition party that they have to contend with. And if they don't put their house in order, I must tell you, it is not over.
I remember that election. I think I was part of the coverage of the election.
We met.
Yeah, we met, and I remember, if my memory is still serving me very well, there was this last-minute visit to Omishore's house in Ife to convince him so that he could support one of the candidates to actually win. Omishoro is still a very big factor in Osun, and but we don't think he has been totally cornered now by the ruling party.
I must, you see, that's why we still have a lot of dramas to watch. This is a country where our politicians can migrate faster than star 1121, star 110. As they can migrate to this party, to this, there is no political ideology is totally missing. So Omishori of 2018 may be different from Omishori of today. It depends on who gets what. And don't forget, the political parties are trying to put their house in order. You hear PDP saying, "No, family, let's come back together and clinch this." And most of them have learned their lessons. But the one who is sitting as a ruling party has a lot to lose if care is not taken, because you cannot say totally that Abeokuta is no factor in Osun.
So he's a factor. So what should the players be doing? You talked about the tension they create, especially for their groups, the different groups that they belong, and the different supporters. The supporters don't behave like the players, the real players now.
Yeah.
They act differently. So what must they be doing to make sure this doesn't really degenerate into something that it's unhealthy for the country?
Well, I think for the players, they need to know that their body language goes a long way, especially in keeping their party healthy, and for the survival of their party in that state, and so also for the survival of their members. Because if care is not taken, we start seeing a situation where they will start attacking and will be recording casualties, and which I feel it doesn't worth it in any way. If 2015 election had come in such a manner and in a peaceful manner, we should learn from history. The election does not want the blood of anyone, like I think Jonathan would say. So our politicians should also learn from that. I will expect that by this time they should suspend whatever acrimony they have. It is time to persuade. Obviously, is Abeokuta's outburst, is there any justification for it? I will not say yes, or neither will I say no. But I know definitely it is the same game, and the only state that has succeeded in achieving that has been Lagos State, determining who the successor will. I think Lagos State and maybe Delta State, where you have our
the man who has also been in the center of determination of the next governor of the state since 1999, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is still a very big factor in this. In fact, some people have actually said he's the one who masterminded this, because if you look at most of the comments of people, they have not even said that. I mean, those comments are not even talking about Oyetola, beating Abeokuta.
Even the dailies are not reporting it really.
Yeah, they are saying Abeokuta losing to Tinubu and stuff like that. But again, does it mean that Abeokuta has lost Alimosho? Because we saw on the pages of newspapers, I mean, a whole lot of protests on the streets of Lagos against him.
Yes, you see, obviously, that's why I said the man Abeokuta to Tinubu may not be known by the public. To some, they will say Abeokuta is just his boy. To the boss, he knows, and to the boss and those who are very, very closer to him, they will tell you Abeokuta has been a strategist, that they are friends. Being a friend is different from being a boy.
Okay.
For Lagos State to have been to have survived retaining power from 1999 up to this time, it is the handiwork of some people. And I will tell you, talking of Alimosho, I wouldn't know of today, but talking of Alimosho, Asiwaju took Alimosho from Sir Ayo Akinjemi and handed it over to Abeokuta. I can recall during the second time election of Asiwaju in Lagos, when it was with Funsho William. A lot of drama like we are facing now happened then. That was when PAC, headed by late Ganiu Daudu, went off from AD
from Alliance for Democracy, all because they were agitated and they felt that, oh, Tinubu have sidelined them, this and that. Akerele, Bokno and co, they went with Afenifere and co. So there were lots of factions, even then in Lagos. But those who stood their ground, then the man who held sway for Alimosho local government was Aregbesola. Aregbesola, Femi Adebanjo, Baba Dedeji, and the likes. They were the one that held Alimosho. So to some in Lagos, Aregbesola has been a strategist. Even at the time, some people thought Aregbesola was going to be presented to succeed Asiwaju in Lagos as the Lagos state governor before he now asked them to go to
other states.
So
when you say Aregbesola is a big strategist in the politics of Lagos, and of course what just played out, he was defeated. I don't know how you're going to look at that. As a strategist,
Aregbesola's man defeated. Aregbesola's man defeated.
Aregbesola's man, rather. Sorry.
Abeokuta.
Yes, Abeokuta. I'm sorry for using that. You put that into question. That really is it that he's not learning well from others or from the players, that they have in Lagos, or that he overshoots,
Well, I want to quote from Babatunde Raji Fashola when he had his ministerial screening. There was a particular quotable quote that he said, "May my loyalty not be
tested."
But in the case of Aregbesola, I would not want to feel that Aregbesola's loyalty was tested and he failed. But you see, as a human being, you have right to agree and to disagree. If they have been on agreement from 1999 up to 2022, and the both of them have benefited in one way or it wasn't as if Lagos was just free, that there was no storm in Lagos. At the time, we knew what happened during the last election in Lagos State now. We knew what happened. It wasn't there have been a lot of storm, but there were pillars that stood that said no. This party the governors must not leave our political party. Among them is Aregbesola. Okay. But I want to say that he has equally benefited so much because you have been reading from so many quarters where they say, oh, he was brought from gutter to he was nobody, was just a refrigerator, this and that. I would say everyone has one or two stories to say, and most of our politicians, I'm not sure, most of them were not born millionaires or billionaires. One way or the other, they came across
this interest always come up. The former governor, the outgoing governor, hands over to another person, and then he wants now to begin to dictate, or he has interests which the new governor will have to protest. Not just in OSUN State. This has happened all over Nigeria. Now, what is the issue with this? Why do these kind of interests, keep coming up, keep playing up, and they keep determining what goes on in the political space of these states?
Thank you very much. You see, one major factor is political greed. Political greed in the sense that you shouldn't think another man's tenure is an extension of your tenure, or should be an extension of your tenure. To sustain your legacy, it should be by agreement. It should be by understanding. You cannot just. I read Aregbesola's outburst that says all the legacy I led, he has destroyed. Before you got there, before they took over from Oyilola, there was a legacy. Let's leave it that party was not, that it was not their political party. There was a legacy laid down by even Baba Akonde.
I think it depends. We also have to define what is legacy in this context.
Their own political legacy, maybe the type of education policies which may be anti-people, the type of economic policy or whatever which may be anti-people,
or infrastructure
policy which may be anti-people. But you want the man who is coming to succeed you to suit into that, to continue with that. He has come with his dream and he has his cross to bear. The only aspect I feel that they should always be cautious about is there should be no wastage in terms of continuity in project. You shouldn't just abandon the project. And they should learn from what it is. It will not be too fair to say it is the game all over the state. They should learn from Governor Zulum.
Shouldn't policies, sorry, Comrade Falani, shouldn't policies continue as long as they are from the same party? I mean, this also brings us to the issue of ideologies. If you and if I'm governor at the moment and I'm in a party that's called PPP, for instance, and I'm handing over to you, you're also from the same political party. Shouldn't we also carry out the same?
That will happen where they have a holistic political ideology. A situation where someone free education is all about a free school uniform, and another man has come and say, oh, I want to delve truly into the real meaning of free education. That okay, the free education should be free tuition fee. Would make a provision of feeding these, we make provision of... It is not everyone that will want to continue with appointment, that want to continue with uniformity in the uniform they are putting on. Okay. Your governors will come with their own ideas, but even at that, they should be able to... You should be able to engage yourself.
One of the things that people say about the OSUN state example is largely with the education policy you refer to, is largely that the governor decided to implement a policy, and then the people are saying something different. They are not actually feeling it the way the governor actually wanted it to be, and they are complaining, and they were not being listened to. And I think that was what happened with the case of Oyetola trying to listen to the people and make adjustment in that policy. Now we talk about, obviously we're talking about godfatherism. When you leave office, you want somebody else. You want to dictate what happens next. You want to be the determinant of who becomes the next president or governor. And of course, we could see the template from that of Lagos State. I don't know, in the modern democracy, of course, the most recent ones, that's this last republic, you could see that trend in Lagos, how Tinubu became so powerful, and everybody ascribed that to him because he was able to dictate, has been able to dictate who becomes the next governor. And they took that template without also understanding the context with which that was done in Lagos to replicate it in other states. So how do we persuade, or how do we discourage, politicians from going about, replicating things that has different context in the different states that they are going to represent?
Well, thank you very much. You see, still going back to the education, because I know that is the major, that is the high point in OSUN that created all these issues. I will not blame Governor Oyetola for deciding. If governance is to be the way it should be, government of the people, by the people, for the people. If you have carried the people along in project planning and even implementation, there wouldn't have been problem. But in most cases in our country, and not really their fault, the documents we use in our country has given so much power to the governors that they decide they decide what should be and how it should go. And that is why the educational policy of Abeokuta then, he felt it was good because it was not he didn't face the challenges confronting those policies. Then it was not giving a good report of the people's perception about, and that was why he felt it was good. But Oyetola, who served as the, I think, chief of staff to him then, was also saying that this policy was part of those things that fell us down, that no, I must not continue that. And he listened to the people. I think that was good. But like our politicians, as I was making reference to Governor Zulum, Governor Zulum served under the immediate past governor's administration, and he decided to continue with the policies, and we can see what he's doing. There has not been any sort of issue. When the governor goes there, the governor even gives credence to that, my boss, the man who is doing it the way we are planning.
The example of the current president as well, with what the former president actually left behind, and
he has continued. I think some of our governors or our politicians should learn from that. Don't be surprised. It is Oyetola versus Abeokuta today. Tomorrow Oyetola will also leave that seat. You should now look at it, whether it will be the same thing or not. But we can actually predict, because most of them will want to have input in who becomes their successor.
So why is that important? Why is that important?
It is important because they want, not in Nigeria alone, It is not in Nigeria. It is a global practice. It is a global practice. If a president is leaving, Obama was leaving. He wanted
Hillary Clinton. His party majorly. Because the party decided who becomes the presidential
candidate. That situation, that was the country that has political ideology. They have their manifesto. You cannot deviate from it. But in our own case, it is the man who has been given the mandate that will now say, this is what I want to do for the people. Either they like it or not, this is what we are going to impose on them. And it's creating, and you want that legacy to be sustained. And another thing is that the cover up. Probably when they were governing, they have done all sort of mess and they felt that, oh, I'm not able to make this before I go to tidy up. So if any opposition comes in, or the man who will not listen to me comes in, definitely one or two things will be exposed.
Abeokuta has vowed to battle on, and Abeokuta has also threatened to go to court. Now, if those threats don't work in the long run, are you envisaging them, setting up another political party or joining another political? Because we've seen cases like this where anybody that is disgruntled with a particular party goes to form another political party. We've seen that in Ogun State a couple of times too, in other states. So are we likely to have that?
Well, there are possibilities and probabilities. I would say that the probability that Abeokuta will go, his candidate will go to another party, cannot be ruled out. And the second one is that the probability that Abeokuta will go to court, win or not win, can also not be ruled out. But they have lessons to learn. They should learn from Zamfara. They should learn from Zamfara. They should
learn from Ogun State as well.
Yeah, maybe yes, Ogun State. They should also learn. There's one other state where they also lost on the ground of irregularities and the likes that they did not meet up with. They did not meet up with that. So, and why they are fighting, they should also know that a party that has been in opposition is also tasty of coming back to power. It is the PDP, and they are tightening up their out to clinch back to power. So they should learn all of this. The earlier they do this, the better for them.
Okay, I think we have already joining us now from OSUN State, the Commissioner for Information in that state, Mrs. Funke Egbemode. She's joining us to discuss this particular issue. Good morning, Mrs. Egbemode. Okay. Okay, good. Honorable Commissioner, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, now, yeah, we're fine. Fantastic. It's good to have you join us this morning. Now, tell us the atmosphere in OSUN as we speak. We've been trying to dissect the issues involved in the governorship primary election of your political party in that state in the past 30 minutes. But again, we need to hear from you because you are the one on the ground and probably you know more than we do. Tell us the atmosphere this morning as far as the victory of the governor is concerned.
Thank you. Everybody is happy. Everybody is happy. Everywhere is peaceful, just like everywhere was peaceful on Saturday. We have been able to show that all the predictions of violence did not come true because we are not a violent people. This is the state of the virtuous, and we were able to comport and conduct ourselves properly, and everybody
Okay, yeah, certainly you will expect this kind of a thing anytime a call is coming from outside your base. We're having
officials that were sent to each of our wards, and everything went well.
Okay, Simiat.
Talking about the election, there are different groups we understand in your political party as we speak, and people are saying that for the governor to also clinch that ticket, a big deal, and of course, the bigger deal will be that he should come back as the governor of the state. And yes, people are talking about the groups in your political party right now, the different, camps, that of those that were contending with the governor as we speak, during the last primary. So what is the party going to do to make sure you put your house in order just so you could go out strong to win that election when it comes to the real day right now?
In the acceptance speech of the governor, he already extended the olive branch that everybody should come on board and let's build the state, let's build the party. That's what we should be doing, and that's what that's the line the party we told. We want one house. It's just a few people that were unhappy, as you would have seen in the result of the elections. You do not have a sitting governor winning all the wards. This doesn't happen all the time everywhere. It was a direct primary. They were not, those who voted were not delegates. And so what the governor has said is, let everybody come into one house under on one platform, and let us do what we need to do ahead of the elections. Let us get stronger. Let us be unified. That way, the elections will be easier. That's what the governor has said. That is what the party will do. That is the line all members will also do.
So it's a sign of what is to come in the election, in the general election, governorship election of the state.
Definitely. The governor won hands down. It was a resounding victory. It's not the kind of the victory that you think that can be challenged. I mean, we won everywhere, including where you have said that the group that you have spoken about. We won in the words of everybody. And so this is a sign of things to come. The governor is fully in charge here, is the leader of the party, and is the one that the people love. So that's the way it's going to be. You can expect that we will replicate what happened on Saturday, July 16.
Okay, certainly these are cracks, already that we have also seen. We have seen, in the party, Osun State. But isn't it a very tough one for you as a party and as government, Ms. Abeokuta, this morning? The cracks that because Alhaji Rauf Aregbesola is a very big politician, not only in Osun State but in the entire Southwest. How do you think your government is going to actually manage this? Okay, I think we lost the signal there, the signal of Mrs. Abeokuta, Commissioner for Information in Osun State. Certainly we'll have her back, but certainly we didn't even talk about that, the landslide victory of the governor. I mean,
Mr. Defense doesn't make promises that he will not fulfill.
Oh, okay.
And so we will do the same thing we do the same thing as in the build-up to the election. We will follow his patience and his gentlemanly ways. He's a very cultured man. And when you have all those attributes and you still have the people with you, it cannot be a rough ride. All that have been projected are just they're just storms in teacups. We are sure that all will be well with us because we will do what is right. The governor is touching lives, is touching all the sectors of the economy, all the sectors of socio-political lives of the people in Osun. And so they love him and they will protect their mandate because the mandate is actually the mandate of the people. All the policies here are about the people, so there won't be any problem at all.
Okay, talking about the former governor of Osun State, which is that's the former governor, that is Rauf Aregbesola. And a lot of people are saying that presently what is going on is really the battle with the incumbent, which has to do with the legacies of the former governor. And I want to ask you, when you say all will be well, are you precisely saying that the grievances of this man would also be addressed, gradually by the incumbent, just so you would have, a free lunch when you have the election, generally in the state?
Let's be specific about the grievances, and let's see whether they are fair grievances, whether they should be those grievances even qualify to be called grievances. The one at the top of all the list of those who are protesting is the education review policy. We reviewed the education policy as inherited by my principal. And democracy is about the people. The policy of education affects everybody. And if everybody was protesting, what was the governor going to do? He promised that whatever the people didn't like, he will look at it. And he didn't look at it alone. He gave the mandate to professors, to educationists, to former registrar of WAEC, Professor Iwadiaye. We had former vice chancellors of that committee, former principals, representatives of Parents and Teachers Association. And it was agreed that there were things that were wrong with that. We were the only state in this Federal Republic of Nigeria that had a policy that did not tally with the national education policy. What were we supposed to do? You cannot tell people to go vote for you, stay in the sun, stay in the rain, and then ignore their needs. So all Governor Yetola's administration has done is listen to the people. And you wonder, why should anybody be angry with that? If it is what the people wanted, did we pull down any roads that the former governor built? He is a father in the state. We will continue to employ him to please act like a father, to please be the elder that he is, and let us make this state peaceful. We do not want to continue to be heard in public space as that chapter of the party that is fighting. And you will see where the people are from the result. 222,000 for the incumbent governor, 12,000 for his closest rival, and a distance 460 for the third person. You know where the party is, you know where the people are. That's the way it is.
All right, Mrs. Abeokuta, we want to thank you so much. We know it's going to be a very busy day for you with the media. You have a job to do, and I'm sure this is it's going to be a very huge one for you today. We want to say we must thank you so much for creating time to talk to the People's Study OGTV 25HF for all the way from Osun. Thank you so much for talking to us, and wish you well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you so much. That was the Commissioner for Information in Osun State, Mrs. Funke Abeokuta, talking to us via Zoom from Osun State, and telling us that all is well. It's going to be peaceful in Osun State, and everybody agreed will still come to your round table.
Well, I actually like the fact that she talked about what we discussed earlier, which has to do with the legacy of the last administration in that state, which the people, the governor decided to listen to the people. And I think how we can strengthen democracy, maybe you will tell us a bit about that, how we can strengthen democracy to allow the person leading listen to the people. Is it the way to go? Is it the only way, or the bigger thing in democracy of our time?
Well, you see, if democracy is to be practiced the way it is or it should be, the people's participation should be inevitable. And we've heard from the commissioner, the high point of the disagreement was on the educational
Policy.
policy. And some of us, even when Governor Rauf Aregbesola was there, some of us criticized that policy, that no, you cannot compel all the schools in the state to be putting on the same uniform. Even some of those projects or programs of the education, the Okmoimo and like, they were cosmetics in nature. They cannot stand the test of time. We criticize some of those policies. So we also understand, and we have predicted that a listening government will come a day and reverse that policy. And it is equally expected that he will disagree, because there was no agreement in the initial stage. You only decide on your own to go by this policy, and you did not allow that policy to be scrutinized by critical stakeholders. So for Governor Oyetola, I think it is the best way to go. I must say it is the best way to go. And every governor should always ensure, allow the people's participation. Before you come up with your budget, you should have an engagement, even from the grassroots. These are the things we are thinking. What do you see about it? Let us even have suggestions from the public. These are the things we need, and that is the only way we can go. But if we decide that we want to be imposing our own view on the people, that is not democracy. And I'm afraid if we continue that way, don't let us, what will happen in future can be best imagined.
Anyway, lessons learned, we hope so, for politicians, for everybody, because this is not just about politics, it's also about our daily lives. OSUN example has again shown to us that you can't have it all the time. And so that's it. The OSUN APC Governorship Primary Election Review we'll be having in the studio. Comrade Inka Folani is the National Secretary of CDHR. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
And we also had the Commissioner for Information in Osun State live, from Osun, talk to us this morning, assuring us that everything is peaceful in Osun and there won't be problem at the end of the day, that Rauf Aregbesola will still be brought back to the fold, and APC will remain one united force in Osun State. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Scouts. They are also doing something great as we speak, particularly this week. So we'll come back, we'll talk about them shortly. Stay with us.